September 11, 2001, the day the Twin Towers in New York were brought down in a horrific terrorist attack. This tragedy didn't just collapse two buildings, it shook the entire world. In response, the United States declared a global war on terror, and the first battlefield chosen was Afghanistan. Under the banner of destroying the Taliban and capturing Osama bin Laden, the U.S. entered Afghanistan. But what began as a mission turned into a 20-year quagmire, one that drained America politically, financially, and morally. Major American mistakes. Decisions made in the haze of power. 1. Ignoring ground realities. The U.S. treated Afghanistan like another Iraq or Vietnam. But Afghanistan was geographically complex, culturally tribal, and fiercely independent. American military and politicians failed to understand that Afghans never truly accept foreign presence. 2. Over-reliance on military power, America focused heavily on bombing, drone strikes, and military operations. But the real war was for winning hearts and minds, a war the U.S. never truly fought or won. 3. Supporting corrupt Afghan governments. The Afghan governments backed by the U.S. were often corrupt and detached from the people. This fueled public resentment, and the Taliban used this frustration to regain support. 4. Underestimating the Taliban. American commanders kept repeating that the Taliban was weakening. In reality, the group was regrouping in the shadows. U.S. intelligence repeatedly failed to grasp the ground situation. 5. A hasty exit. In 2021, when the U.S. abruptly announced its withdrawal, the Taliban swiftly regained control. 20 years of sacrifices, money, and ambition all vanished in days. Financial cost, trillions spent, little gained. The United States spent approximately $2.3 trillion in Afghanistan. Over $800 billion on military operations, $145 billion in training and supporting Afghan security forces, $83 billion on development. And reconstruction, hundreds of billions on drone programs, covert operations, and private contractors. If this money had been invested in education, healthcare, and infrastructure inside the U.S., it could have transformed millions of American lives. Human cost, a heavy price paid in blood, U.S. for Americans. Over 2,400 U.S. military personnel killed, more than 20,000 injured. Thousands of veterans died by suicide due to PTSD and mental trauma. For Afghans. Over 70,000 Afghan civilians killed. Thousands of women and children perished in bombings and drone strikes. Millions displaced. Thousands fled. Many died trying to escape the impact on the American people. Restlessness, doubt, and fatigue. 1. Loss of trust. Americans began to lose trust in their government. Questions echoed. Why did we fight this long war? Was it based on lies? Where did our tax dollars go? 2. Mental health crisis. Among veterans, returning soldiers faced depression, anxiety, sleeplessness, and rage. Thousands took their own lives. Veterans became a broken pillar of a broken war. 3. Media manipulation. For years, the U.S. media focused on so-called victories. Real failures were hidden, giving citizens a false sense of success until the withdrawal exposed the truth. The result of U.S. presence for Afghanistan: ruins, fear, and hopelessness. After the withdrawal, the Taliban quickly regained control. All progress made on women's rights, education, and freedom of speech was reversed almost overnight. Of Afghans displaced, thousands died trying to flee the country. Afghanistan's economy collapsed. Fear returned, especially for women, students, journalists. The lesson America learned. Or did it? America's failure in Afghanistan made one thing very clear: technology and power alone can't win wars. If you ignore ground realities, history becomes your harshest teacher. This war wasn't just lost on the battlefield. It was lost in strategy, understanding, and moral judgment. Conclusion: 20 years, $2.3 trillion, thousands of lives, and in the end, the very Taliban the U.S. promised to destroy returned to power. This is a story of a war that could have been won had it been understood.